Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of To Be Frank live on Precious Television. We are coming to you live on our social media channels on Facebook at Precious TV Official and on YouTube at Precious TV Official as well. My name is Smart Techi Nixon. It's a Wednesday. Good afternoon to all the Kwekus and the queers. The rest of them, they can pick their greetings on the road.
That's all.
And it's June. It's the Men's Mental Health Month. And if you've been following me on WhatsApp, you know I've been making a lot of noise about the fact that the men's mental health is not talked about much. So I'm just going to take a minute to talk about men's mental health. There are a lot of things that happen in the life of men that they do not talk about. And today we have a ghost in the studio and many other things that will be coming to you. But then again, it's more important for us to recognize the fact that there are some struggles of men that need to be brought to the light. And it shouldn't be that be a man, toughen up. That is who you are. You didn't come into this world to just pay bills and die. You came to also to be loved, to be cared for, to be taken care of, and also to be thought of. You deserve to be placed on the top of the list. If you are not prioritized, begin to look for where your happiness is. If you're struggling with anything in life, bear in mind that you can always talk to someone. Do not hold it in. Internalizing your emotions can really go a long way to damage you in the future. Because like they say, hurt people hurt people. So do not bleed on people who did not hurt you. If there is anything worrying you, if there is any struggles, if there is anything bothering you, talk to someone. Suicide is not an option. So this is June, the Men's Mental Health Month. But then today we're going to be taking a look at the Christian life and the social life. Do Christians even have a social life? And even if there are social activities, are they allowed to go? And if they are allowed to go, what are they allowed to do there? And what are they not allowed to do there? Interestingly enough, we have MCs on the show today who will tell you that we start the wedding reception with an opening prayer. But you do that is where God knows that give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. In the studio with me are my own friends who will be helping with the conversation. Our long lost friend has come back home like the prodigal daughter. Lucy is in the studio this afternoon. Lucy, how are you doing?
I'm good. I miss being here and I miss you.
I text you and you don't respond. Both on Facebook and WhatsApp.
I'm going to check.
Please check for me. KBDMC is also in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Charlie, what's going on?
Charlie, everything cool.
Nice. The weather is good as well. Pastor Newton.
Yeah.
Another day to talk about the things concerning God and man.
Yes.
We are 12 minutes into the hour of 2. It's afternoon in Ghana, wherever you're watching us from. This is To Be Frank, the only Christian podcast where we are frank about the issues concerning us. So we are coming back into the studio. Lucy, did you know June was the men's mental?
No, I'm actually now hearing from you.
Wow.
Hey, this is a first. No, this is a first.
Did you know of Mother's Day?
But you knew of Mother's Day.
Why ever not?
But you know Father's Day is
it's in June, yeah.
But you don't know why they placed it in June.
No.
So June is actually the universal
I was shocked.
men's mental
shocked,
health.
But it's a good thing to know.
That's the sad part, and that is why I think I'm glad KB, the MC, and Pastor Newton are both on the panel. It shows, this goes to show how much we don't talk about it. It's painful. Very, very painful. But KB, are you shocked? Are you shocked? Before we get into the matter for today,
am I shocked if she doesn't know
that June is Men's Mental Health Month?
I had no idea.
Well, it's our own doing. It's men's own doing. So I'm not shocked.
We also don't talk about it.
Exactly.
So we cannot just blame.
Maybe we don't want them to talk about it. We always don't want them to know our issues.
But advocacy should not be something I think anybody can talk about it.
I agree with KB because on our media platform, the number of men outnumber that of women. And honestly, I've never heard this.
They've not brought it up.
No, they don't make noise about it. Even Father's Day is quite recently that it started. But for the reason they put Father's Day in June, which is really a good reason though. It's something we have overlooked for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think it's high time, you guys. If you don't blow your trumpets, nobody will do it for you. Clearly, we will not do it. So just blow and let's support.
I see. We should blow and you support.
Yes.
Don't forget this statement.
We'll support
I'll
you.
bring it up one day.
Meanwhile, men support women's soccer.
Oh,
We're blowing it.
we go there, we buy tickets.
Yes,
You know,
we
support
sponsor
you. We
women's soccer.
support you. We sponsor and we even pay half of your salaries.
TV,
Pastor Newton, have you heard of it?
Oh, I've not heard of it.
You've not heard of it.
It's not news.
It's not news.
Yeah, because I believe what we do that we want to be celebrated, to us, we know it's a responsibility. So whether we are celebrated or not, we are fulfilling scripture. So
OMG.
Okay. Well, Pastor Newton says that what?
fulfilling scripture.
we are fulfilling
We are
scripture
fulfilling
because
scripture.
that's our duty after the fall of man.
But that's what makes it difficult for another person to think that the essence of a man is just to provide and not to be cared for. I think that conversation, we need to have it in order for us to fully understand.
But it's in
frame.
scripture.
Yes, it is in scripture.
So
I didn't say that
can you-
we should die while doing it.
well,
There are a lot of people out there, a lot of
I think you should die for
we
your
have to
beliefs.
talk about
it's
it,
important
man.
you die for your beliefs.
because I was reading some statistics that was quite staggering.
Mm.
That 70+% of men, the people that die at work are men, and about 38% of men that suffer from depression are mostly from financial issues. 37% of men that commit suicide are from work issues, and some also. The last part was about 28% of people were about marital issues, dissatisfaction they could not, so it's actually a thing where when a man feels like he is not in the capacity to provide, it has a huge toll on him as a person, and so he can resort to any other thing. And that is what we should be speaking again. So if there is anything that is bothering you, like I mentioned earlier,
Speak to someone.
from a brother to another brother, speak to somebody.
Yeah.
Lucy is in the studio, KBDMs is here, Pastor Newton is here, me, myself, and I reporting for duty this afternoon. To be frank, do Christians have a social life? Do Christians have a social life? We'll be talking about this in the next 2 hours, maybe. Lucy, Christians and their social life. Let me say something. I know that a lot of people have gagged me for a while, but finally I have the opportunity to say it. Anytime there is a holiday, Pastor Newton will put a prayer time there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't allow us to have a social
I
life.
think it's a global thing with the church.
It's a global thing with the churches.
Yeah.
Maybe it's only African.
Why?
I will not agree.
Or
Listen,
a Ghanaian thing with the church.
let's
Maybe
discuss
it's
it.
My
Ghanaian.
church
Let's
too,
discuss
the
it.
same.
It's the same
Ghanaian
thing.
church, but some.
Ghanaian church, but some.
Should I
Some
say-
are very creative that they organize programs around the holiday.
Hey, so
So
when they call us to pray, it's not creative.
No, I mean, you see, the human being is spiritual, but also a human being. We don't live in the spiritual realm all the time. So if you say the meeting is just prayer program, that's what I'm fighting against. But for instance, if you say a program is Valentine's service, when we come and we are praying to me, I will leave. Because globally, it is not celebrating prayer,
You see,
but it's love. So when we come and
I
No,
don't,
but
want
the
to, I don't want
focus-
to cut you short.
Yeah.
What
no,
he
you have
said
cut
is
him back continue.
Mine-
where
mine is
there
quite
is
different.
a holiday.
I think Valentine is not even a holiday.
Yes.
No,
He
Valentine
says-
is not even Christian.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
not Christian.
He said
It's
when
Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
Santa Claus also not Christian.
yeah,
Let's
we are-
get it
we are
right. You know
Christian.
me, my stance
Kevin,
on
let's
Oh,
not
yeah,
go
but
there.
we are
on
Christianizing things, yes.
westernizing
Let's
Christianity
not go
media.
there.
I'm very
Kevin, let's not
radical.
go there today.
Why shouldn't we go there? Social. Santa Claus is social.
We are talking about
Valentine
holidays.
is social.
Is it?
Okay, when it gets to my turn, I'll use my
let's
hand.
stick
So
to-
use
listen,
yours
let's
to
stick to the
glorify, and then let's.
Okay, so
And
he
beat around
says
the
when
bush.
it's a holiday, and mostly when it's a holiday, churches, my church, for instance, organize prayer program.
so name one of the holidays.
Oh, any holiday.
So 6 March,
like
your church
6 months.
pray.
Oh,
If it falls on a weekday, yeah,
yeah.
And is the service morning or evening?
Oh, it's a
morning.
prayer marathon, actually.
in the morning,
Gosh,
It's a prayer
it's a
marathon.
prayer-thon.
and
It's a prayer. It's a prayer.
and it's not in the evening, it's morning.
Oh, I've complained about some of those things because I don't know. Some of my friends see me to be a controversial pastor because, for instance, I used to fight meetings that, like, for instance, during the day we have to be productive and you are doing service during working hours. I don't support that though, but that doesn't mean those who do it I'm against.
Yeah.
Unless you tell me your population most are unemployed and you are doing something to engage them. But even with that, I will look at empowerment because all the time we are taking spiritual empowerment, but the physical empowerment and stuff too. We are not looking there. I believe Christianity should be a balance.
Yeah.
Just that I think the imbalances are a lot in the faith.
Also, it's weird that Christianity is the one we have to talk about imbalance. So, because our institution is a institutional reformist agenda, but it's like everything wrong is found in the Ghana church. As much as I might sound a bit bashy on the clergy, it's like my
Ghana is an African.
No, let's talk about Ghana. Like,
let's deal with the Ghanaian issue.
Yes, like also that's my.
That's where it stands.
Yeah, it's like
must start from.
It's like
where we are before Judea and Samaria, uttermost part of the world.
You get it
exactly. Anyway, she was.
But do you think that the system that we run, when you take a look at all other denominations in its entirety, I know that we might have different views because I think the charismatic is not run as it is run in the Anglican churches. The Catholics may not be the same, but there is a trend where you feel like the present day Christian does not have room to have a social life.
I would like to say something because more often than not, I believe Christians do not have social life. So it's like work, church, home. Work, church, home.
A great triangle.
Yeah. I am actually speaking that from experience.
Oh yeah, I get you.
So there is nothing external out of the work situation, the church situation, and the home. And then the sad part of it is that sometimes even the work, the church, and the home is in a community, but we even isolate ourselves from that main community that these three places are in.
Secular meeting.
And then we center on the key point. Home, I don't talk to anybody. You just enter your house, you enter a room, that's it. Even if you are living in a compound house, you don't interact. And not to talk of the bigger community. And then also then church too. Sometimes, even church, sometimes we narrow it down to our various departments. So that we don't cross carpet to other departments, you know, that kind of thing. And then when it comes to work, it's the people that we are probably on the same staff with. Some work, let's say for instance where I was working, we had like a number of I was teaching, so the number of places that we had. But even if I meet a colleague on the street, a colleague that we are in the same center school, and unit with, but not in the same school with, I walk past because I don't know the person. So we have secluded ourselves to, for the want of a better word, and pardon me if I say narrow way of living, which isn't the best, because we live in a larger community. Whatever goes out there affects us. But because we call ourselves Christians, and I don't know whether it's the fear of being influenced by the external world or because I believe when we even go out, it will be better because then we can influence. I mean, we are the light. We are supposed to throw our lights. Let it shine.
We are the only light that is scared of darkness.
Thank you. Thank you. So because of that, and it stems from our upbringing. You know, our parents will shield you so much so that sometimes you go to school, you get to be picked. If you are not picked, you are told come straight home. So then you don't even get to interact with other people, and that's where it starts from. So that fear of your parents shielding you so that you don't go astray. And the thing is that the fear of thinking that the person will go astray is what guides us and mentally influence our thinking. So it becomes a part of it. And then we think outside the church or outside that triangle of work, church, home, any other thing outside there is evil. Or not good. And so clearly I would say that Christians mostly do not have social life. If things are not organized in the church, within the church, by other, even sometimes by other sister churches, we don't go.
Because is it the sensitization, or it's just the messages that we hear from the pulpit? Because a lot of times people say for our church we don't visit other churches. I have heard from a few
loyalty people.
I've heard a few from some.
They know themselves.
Yes, so the interaction that Lucy was talking about, I think is quite key. When you take it even from home, I think your analogy is great. From home, I don't want to talk to anybody.
So you can even be in an area and nobody knows.
Nobody really knows you. And when they point you,
so when there's when someone is attacking you, we don't know whether she's one of us for us to fight.
I'm telling you, you have no idea.
Understand me? But maybe your view on the conversation around Christians and our social life, because the moment you step out, then there is another conversation about where are you going? Is that place Christian? What do they do there? You know, there are a plethora of questions people blow at you. That, oh, you know, I remember the days when I used to work firmly in the media space, and I had to cover events late in the night and all that. And I realized that at a point, someone would say, Smart, I saw you in the club. But I was there as a journalist. You know, I was there as a journalist at the time that you saw me. So then it now raises a lot of questions that what can you do? What can you not do? KB, your first submission on the matter.
Well, from the foundations, or from what I understand about Christianity, it's actually a rebellion of the status quo. At least when I study, that's my personal opinion, when I study, or the Jesus film that we call, he came with a very revolutionized worldview about what man's connect with God should be or must be. So what I realize is happening now is that Christ, brought a certain new mindset to try and fit in the old, but to flow with Christ's own, you have to become like Christ to flow with his own. So you have to be a Christian, you have to have his mindset, everything. So what is happening is that Christians find themselves in, I think there's one every 6 people, 1 out of every 6 people is a Christian. So one person has to make sure his lifestyle influences the 5 others, or vice versa. So in our quest, or in the Christian's quest to also make his savior known, he has to have a very rebellious mentality. In other words, I'm taking over. At the show guy, how did I say? Because if you don't go hard, you don't go hardcore, there's a way, there's 5 against 1. And anytime you are outnumbered, you can't be comfortable. You are always the renegade, you're always the one who is like, all out, like, you can't be comfortable. So in that quest to also influence the space outside Christianity, it brought a certain radicalism. And everywhere radicals exist, extremists will always exist. And sometimes it is abused, especially in religion. You understand? So my take on it is the 1 versus the 5. What should the 1 person do to influence the 5? But the to navigate their mentees, their sheep, their followers in the modern time, because of democracy, because of modern, everything has integrated. It's very, very difficult to show what is not. Christians appear secular people appear Christian. Now even chains, the crucifix is worn more by people who might not necessarily or fundamentally be Christian. So I think, to me, it has to be a contextual, but some things are no. Some things are no.
For a Christian,
some things have to be a no.
Social gatherings,
it might have to be a no. Yes, that's me.
All right, Pastor Newton.
So as my 2 brother and sister have said, we have a social life. I believe it's how the mentality we are carrying and the narrative that had been preached earlier before we came. Because there are 3 things that, first of all, Christianity is for transformation of society. It first will start with a person, then you affect your community. So I ask a question is, if we are not ready to be friends with the world, how can we get them transformed? I believe we just misinterpret scriptures. When it comes to the Bible says we are in this world, but we are not of this world. He that is friends with the world is enemy with God. The first world was referring to where people live, cosmos. And the second word was referring to the way they do their things. But because English is, it's, I don't know how to put it, but it lacks certain words for certain things. We will see one word and we just conclude that It's the same thing everywhere. So that's where the reading of the text in the original language will be very important to understand. So as I said, if we don't become friends with them, how do we win them? And as my sister Lucy said, because of the fear of either getting polluted, because it's just like being in the midst of 10, you are 10 friends, 9 are thieves, and you are the only righteous one. Yeah. You are scared that in your effort of getting them transformed, they will rather win you to their side than you winning them to Christ. So there are 3 parts. You either choose to separate, or integrate and be like them, or the transformation side. But it's the transformation side that we are thinking is difficult. So if that's the case, let me just gel with those who agree with me. So that's why some of us, our friends, are just within our Christian circles. I believe I tell my friends all the time, I have a lot of non-Christian friends but we don't, if you're a principled person, you know what you believe and stand for. You can even sit, I always make this fun, I can sit with Satan and talk for the whole day, and I'll leave and I'll still be my Christian. Either you know the boundaries you have in conversations. For instance, I have Muslims as friends. We've never spoken along faith lines before. But I believe where my life rather can win them. Because I remember when I was in the university, I had 2 Muslim friends walk to me telling me my lifestyle alone, they want to be Christians. I didn't go and tell them Jesus loves you or something. But I had friends preach in class and they didn't respond to it. Because Paul said something that our lives are the epistles people read. So there are some people, I'm very concerned about what you do than what you say.
Good.
Because if that is the case, politicians will be the saints. So we just have to believe that we have a social life. It's just, I believe it's a matter of choices and maybe fear that if I go in too much. For instance, with what KB was saying, certain things are excesses. Let's say they tell you it's a naming ceremony or it's a birthday party. Then after some time, the thing is changing from birthday party to jams.
After just about 10 minutes into the...
So because of that, I have pastor friends, for instance. They will come for your wedding. They don't go for reception. Whether it's Archbishop Duncan Williams' daughter, they will not go.
In fact, I don't like the pastors at receptions, so it's okay.
So because of that, you don't feel comfortable when you are emceeing
my program.
So all those...
Because they're not allowed to play non-Christian music.
The issue with them is about inspiration.
I'm sure we'll come there, right?
Maybe.
Yes, you know, I wanted to focus more on. I feel like there is something that people say, especially in the business environment, and that is one of the reasons why I think we're looking at this particular topic. When we talk about the social life of a person, we're also looking at the upgrade of the person, the personality development of the person. We're also talking about the networking factor of the person. I know Christians in the church today who do not know anyone outside of the church setting. That makes it very difficult even for the person to upskill in terms of business. So the mindset towards the approach they have to life, the approach to their faith, the approach to their home is all church based. Now there's a scenario where there are opportunities out there and these opportunities are not in church. Okay. So let's put it in context. We don't want to blur the line, so we're going to take it gradually. When you have something like a cocktail dinner, a cocktail setting, a press soiree, you have a dinner setting where we are bringing together Sports Writers Association of Ghana, let's say SWAG, okay? And some people are like, nah, I won't go there. Some of them will be drinking alcohol. Some of them will be doing this. Some of them will be, like KB alluded to. And I'm glad he brought in that part of the conversation. Then you hear something like, oh, this CEO will be celebrating his birthday at the club. And the regular Christian will go like, since it's a club, it is some way. I'm not going to be there. There is a beach party. We are all going for a beach party. Another person sees 2-3 outfits coming out of the bag. Hey, what are we really here to do? But what I have come to realize, as a public relations practitioner, when I go out more, I get more contracts.
True.
Okay.
Especially among the non-Christians. They rather
now this is
bring your
the
juice.
point I am driving to. There are opportunities out there
boy.
that you will not find in the
Christian
church,
circle, yeah.
in the Christian circle.
Yeah.
I can speak to a Christian brother for a whole year about my business,
And he has not contacted.
and he would not say a thing about it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to bear any grudge against the person,
Yeah.
because maybe they don't even have any opportunity to sell you to.
Yeah.
So that one
okay,
is
their
also
relative
there.
never died.
Yeah.
Nobody ever married. Nobody gave birth in their way.
So they don't
Okay.
see the need to get
I
an
hear
MC.
Their family.
Well,
they
They
are
did,
there.
but we wanted,
You know,
Oh,
the
no
dynamics are
problem.
quite different.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Now we are
The
talking
budget.
about networking events. Networking events. There is a conference somewhere. It's 3 days. Maybe it's out of town.
Mhm.
Someone says, "Oh, I won't go." There is a party of a certain CEO, and you know that the industry stakeholders will be there,
Yeah.
Most definitely.
and you know that it's a perfect place for you to
Yeah.
plug into.
Yeah.
You know, you don't go. There is a party where you are going to meet other people
Yeah.
that you can introduce your business to or yourself to. You know, you are struggling with something, you don't go. There is a place where, even sometimes, I beg to bring this thing in, there is a place where they are having workshops, capacity building seminars.
Yeah.
You don't find Christian brothers
Yeah.
driven,
Yearning.
yearning, that's the
Yeah,
word,
yeah.
yearning to be a part of something like that. But the messages we hear from the pulpit, if it is about a prayer day, the clarion call
Yeah.
would be louder
Yeah.
as compared to there is a career summit.
Yeah.
It's like it's said in person. So this Saturday there will
Oh,
be
it's
a
like,
career summit.
it's
So
like, oh.
if you
It's
don't
like
have
we
anything
asking for
to-
no hotel movie. If
if you don't have anything doing, you can pass by. There is a master class on setting up a business. If you feel
Those
like passing
carnal
by,
things.
you know,
Mm.
and it feels carnal.
Yeah.
Why don't Christian brothers see the need to attend networking events that do not have a setting of a church? Why?
Lucilate, over to you.
Over to you, Lucy.
Why?
Right.
Why? You know, I agitate over these
I-
Yeah,
issues.
me too.
You
Yes.
know,
Well, I would think I would still want to base my point on the fact of fear. You know, I always say this, and this is something that I always say it everywhere that I go. We are quick to bastardize or demonize something we don't understand. Okay, and I've always said that when the Bible tells us to seek knowledge, sometimes we Christians think that the knowledge the Bible requires of us to seek is the Bible knowledge. But God also wants us to seek the knowledge of the world, so that we as Christians, we can use the Christian knowledge vis-a-vis what is in the world to be able to live a more glorious and prosperous life.
Precisely.
Because take it or not, we live in a world.
Yeah.
Take it or not, we deal with people both in the Christian world and in the secular world.
Exactly.
When you're a market woman, it is not only Christians that will buy from you. When you are,
When they want to buy, you don't ask their faith before you sell to them.
can you imagine? You go to the hospital and you tell the doctor, "Are you a Christian? If you are not a Christian,
Don't
don't
work
treat
on
me."
me.
You know?
I mean,
Oh, I've encountered some before.
Wow.
Yeah, someone say if the person is not a Christian,
They will leave
Oh,
for
cults exist. Cults exist.
Okay, they are always, extremists
Yes.
in every situation.
Yeah.
But the thing is this: it is our fear of the unknown that shields us from, and it's honestly smart. All the things you have listed is always disadvantageous to us because it is the Christian brothers and sisters that need job. Great jobs.
Yeah.
I say great jobs in the sense that doing kingdom business is not child's play. It needs money. There is money that we need to move the word of God out there to reach it. And sometimes it is in this we close our mind. God grants us wisdom. I know the Bible says God gives us the wisdom to create wealth. So we pray to God for directions and ideas and all that. But bottom line is that God will not descend from heaven and bring you, connect you to the right kind of people. Our fear, and I'll still come back to it is our fear of being corrupted. Because sometimes I know there are Christians out there who are fabulously rich. No, rich doesn't begin to define it. They are wealthy out there. But I don't think that they shielded themselves in the closet of the church, because at the end of the day, they still have business connect with the people that we claim to be demons or evil. The good thing is that when we pray, God directs our path. But must we wait till God tells us to go out there? Because sometimes when you plunge out there and you have asked God to help you and direct your path, He will lead you to the right kind of place. So it is our fear. Honestly, our fear has worked a way in our lives that has always made us at the disadvantage rather than being at advantage, because we are supposed, if we have the Bible, those in the world only have the worldly knowledge. But we are at an advantage. We have the Bible knowledge. We have the wisdom of God. And then imagine using that together with what is in the world.
And funny enough, every worldly principle is picked from the Bible. If you have time, we'll go there.
And
every
they just twist it.
Bible.
Yes. Yeah. They just twist it. So I think we have to be more open-minded. We shouldn't be quick to demonize things. I know men of God who actually thought the internet is demonic because it will corrupt.
TV was the devil's box.
But because there were certain things that a TV can also, teach us that is not godly, that is not righteous. But in everything, there is always the good and the bad. And it is the good and the bad that works together to bring what is positive. So we as Christians, at least for goodness sake, we know what is good, we know what is bad. It is our duty to choose and not fear. To choose and not fear, so that once we are plunging out and going out, be open-minded. When I say be open-minded, I'm not saying that believe the things of the world. Don't be quick to castigate, okay? Don't be quick to rubbish something. Don't be quick to cast away things until you have gained understanding of it. You realize that you even appreciate it more, because with your Christian understanding, it helps you decipher whether to or to not, whether it will bring you the advantage that you deserve or not. So it is our fear. It is our fear that really works against us. And I hope we do a lot more better about it.
Well, it's our fear that really puts us in a very strange vacuum. But then again, you can send in your comments on 020-343-8710. 020-343-8710. That's on WhatsApp. You can send us your WhatsApp message on 020-343-8710. KB, you and I, we work in the same industry.
Yeah.
So I want you to take a look at
industry colleagues.
Industry colleagues.
Yeah.
In that aspect of my business. So when you take a look at sometimes the late nights, sometimes the meetups, sometimes the meet and greet, the hangout, the lounge experience and all that, we must also be fair to the conversation when we talk about we plunging into the deep to get what we require for the task ahead, like Lucy was saying. But between you and I, we would agree that most of these places that we go to, there is nothing they do there that safeguards our faith. Okay. So for you, how have you managed these kind of outings, these kind of invitations, this kind of networking events, as a professional?
Okay, so as a professional, obviously, as versatile as I am, I can't also accept every gig, because every gig has an agenda. If it's a music award show, if it's a gospel rock show, if it's a graduation, if it's a so at the end of the day, as a professional, you have to deliver. So if I know, for example, I'm being invited to an event that, for example, for lack of better expression, maybe like a Buddhist having a party or a Buddhist ceremony.
Okay.
And I don't know their value system. I don't know, or even Muslim, because a friend of mine was, Charlie, my sister in this thing, they force, but we want our own. Maybe when a gun person was song, it's like it's very, I won't say nepotic, but it's like it's very, it's very curated. So the delivery, because they have to pay me, obviously. So the delivery and the death and whatever they need me to espouse, I might not.
Be able to.
Same way, if he also comes and I say, oh, we are having a gospel rock show, or Pastor Newt is having a book launch, even some of the expressions, some of the scriptural references he has to me. So as a professor, you have to deliver. So if there's a bachelor party, is it a bachelor's party?
Yeah,
Something,
bachelor's party.
something I'm interested in. I realized Ghanaians are really getting into it. I was very surprised. I'm like,
No, it brings us more money then. I mean, okay.
I get you, but I'm like, I'm surprised we are, because like this is a culture where before you get married, you are allowed to go out and just wild around that night, and your wife actually knows you're going to wild out. It's a bit interesting. So, for example, because I have a bit of a reservation with because my assumption is the last 48 hours of you getting married to one person is the last a big consecration. So if you invite me to a bachelor's party, because of my biases, that vibe and the energy and the fire I have to bring for maybe a wedding or a birthday or whatever, I will be whatever. And as a prophet, I also feel it's not fair. So you have to also go for somebody who feel maybe there's a history to bachelor. I'm sure if you read the history, maybe in the West there was a reason. He has a vibe, he has an idea, he's into the thing, and then we flow. So to me, it's you have to spell the whole agenda. Then I come in. Call me, I go hard. If it's Krife, we are doing Krife. If it's party, we are party. If it's kids, we are having face paint, like we are going the whole night out. So
That's solid.
so if I think it's about, as a professional, you have to deliver. So it's about your value system, and then you spell it out to the clients. So to me, I have my
ways of dealing with such.
No, I have my filters.
But then you know that I have found myself at parties where at a point, you know, I'm like, okay, what am I doing here?
Okay.
You know, and secondly, because of who I am and the various things that I do, I'm very particular about pictures and videos. And if I'm somewhere and somebody pulls out the phone, I just want to get up. Because I understand to a large extent what it means to my brand. Because the moment the video gets out, you know, I can't pull it down. I can't go begging friends that some way and things like that. And it's not like you are participating, but since you are
in the cycle.
You know, I remember an event I did in Kumasi. The country director said that, see, we had a very great event. It was a conference on financial literacy and also adding more skills to build your, you know, financial capacity. And it was a great event. Like, we filled the Lancaster Hotel. So after the event, the country manager just came out and he was like, see, I'm taking you guys out. So
it's allowed.
Taking you out. We went to this joint, it was closed. We went to this joint, it was closed. Then eventually we landed at the club. You understand?
No, that's the design for a club, by the way.
Then all of a sudden, what was ordered on the table was nothing close to a Christian's choice of drink.
It depends
you understand?
on what you call a Christian choice.
What was ordered to the table?
If it's perfect, but they have different.
No, higher level of alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol.
Just say that it's not what you want.
So at the end of the day,
Master, if you don't have capacity, you don't have capacity.
At the end of the day, you have to look at all these things. You have to look at where you find yourself and how far can I go in this particular meeting. How far can I go? Because these are things that bother on the mind of the person. You know, am I allowed to be here? If I am, what can I do and what can I not do? Because you are also an MC. And I know that there are certain birthday parties that, you know, sometimes it's guys hang out. Sometimes it's girls hang out. They've called you to come and hype the event. So sometimes I ask myself, can we have a hype man who is a Christian?
What will you say?
I get where you're coming from.
Like a hype man who is I'm not talking about an MC.
We can't.
You know, MCs are different from hype men.
Well, interest, I do both.
The hype men we have, but it's only the prophets who have.
I know, right?
See, thank you. So it means that we can have hype men that are
train them for such events. We can help the industry.
Yes.
I think it's an issue of vibe. If you bring Christian music has a certain vibe, it's supposed to make you more metaphysical, more supernatural in focus. And love music, patriotic music, birthday music. So I think when the vibe is right, as a Christian, you shouldn't have a problem. But for example, maybe we are celebrating Independence Day. Then maybe there is a holiday. They invite you to come and MC, and it's like everywhere is smoke. It's like you can tell that way there's some tram model, something like you can say no, this one is becoming some weird whatever. That one you have every right to feel odd. But for example, Ghana Music Awards, Miss Malike, like there are things that we all can be Christians. We all also can be sports lovers. So there are things that are very it's like a rubber band thing that makes us a nation. So those ones, it's okay. But there are ones so that say Abba. That one, if they tell you as an MC, and they tell that Charlie, this one is like Charlie. That one, if you are coming. So they will also have to they vet. Actually, most people before they call MCs, they vet. Yeah, they know that we know vet here because if there's some Kolebu powder somewhere, you go and snitch like so. You know what I'm saying? So before they call you, they know.
Yeah.
But all I'm trying to also say is that it's very difficult for the nature of my work to go with fundamental Christianity and also make the program che. Because if the program has to che, then you cannot be a fundamental Christian. So that's the only time I don't know if God will allow me to be lukewarm because honey the American man, you know, I say it's so jolly, but maybe it's too warm.
I think that it is spot on. I don't dispute the fact that there can be like Christian parties. There can be Christian parties. There can be other stuff that we do at parties, but there is a certain look and feel.
Yeah.
That certain parties require.
Yes.
And when you have the microphone, you must go along with that look.
It's almost like an occupational hazard.
Yes, it's an like occupational hazard.
It's like a doctor, excuse me to say, you are doing a surgery that you know that this person is going to use to go into the adult industry. Adult film industry. You know, but like you are like
or somebody that works in the oil sector and you need to clear a whole village.
Like they are very
the village, the people must go.
Yes, you have no
and
choice.
You have
or
no
like
choice.
Maybe your aunties who use that same sales to take care of you to go to university and become that MC. You are using that.
How responsible can we be? Pastor Newton, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we are taking different perspectives. So now we have someone in the industry today. I'm sitting in the host seat. How can we have a responsible approach towards our social lives as Christians? I think it's a pertinent question that we must educate our viewers on. How can we have a responsible approach towards our social life? So someone like me, there's a certain hour I don't stay beyond, because like a statement I had, after 2 a.m. whatever happens, God does not guarantee it. There are certain things, these are not facts. These are not
they are facts.
But that after 2
when
a.m.
the sun goes, I don't know if I can prove something. When the sun goes down and there's breeze, like the body responds to. That's why even love making in the hot sun is different from
the one that's late.
Yeah, the body sensuality is aroused more when the temperatures are.
We'll let Lucy corroborate that story. I mean,
Lucy's a church member, so let's.
So how do we approach our social lives with some level of responsibility?
So just like Lucy and KB said, having a set of values that you stand for. So just like how your friends know you, if you are, or so like KB said, if they are inviting you for a program and they know say. They want a room from Kwasi Asembia. They know that way they any smart can on back. And there are those who are church 50%, there 50%. So when we want the nonsense to be there, they can do it on Sunday in church. They will feel okay. They will not be worship time and you are feeling guilty that Charlie Miko Jimmy and Rao. So it's a matter of the having your God in mind and then your godly principles. So just like you also said, you can go. But before I continue, Lucy said something. She said fear. But I also want to believe foolishness to his among. Because whether we like it or not, money or what manner will not fall in church. It's something that we need. It's just like you've gone to school and you are done, you are looking for employment, and you just conclude that the church is the only place you can find employment. So they are doing career program, capacity building programs, and you don't attend. And your only capacity you are building is spiritual muscles, prayer meetings. You are there and all.
Because all the pastors they drive.
So that's where I have problem with.
And all the friends in offices, they're always borrowing money.
That's
so
why,
you make your choice.
No, so that's why I said that I will blame the kind of messages that come out from the pulpit and how the pastors also let the people understand that they have to take responsibility of their life.
Also, you said something about action, not even. It's more of the posturing. I keep using this way. What they'll have to say the nice things, like policy. It's the posturing. Like, if I've never seen a pastor's daughter to have a modest wedding, there's no way you tell me to have a modest. I shouldn't go and borrow to do it.
So it's a matter of, you said posturing, but the pocket and choice. The fact that you saw your pastor's daughter's wedding big.
So he's talking about exemplary leadership.
Yes.
So for instance, you tell me that spending money on bottled water is opulent spending.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Or it's frivolity. Then anytime I see you, you are holding the highest form of bottled water. You understand me?
Like which is even imported.
Yeah, which is even imported at the end of the day. So then it looks as if, I'm not saying that's what
so
it
then
is.
You should know the pastor you have that he's not honest. Because as I said, I take you for what you do than what you say. Because there's one popular man of God, one of the fathers, and his son was going to get married, and the son wanted to do something very small, only SS mate and JHS and university. And come and see, the father was in support, but the mother he said, you know whose son you are, and you can't do something small. That after now the video will be out there and they'll say, oh, when did he marry and we didn't yet. So it's apart from that, it's have become like a societal pressure. Because like you are the geo, you have to do geo's garden so that people know that indeed this is. But I believe it's a matter of choice. I always tell my friends that I don't mind how popular I become or big I become. I want to go with what the children want to do. And it's a matter of pocket, as I said. If Lucy is my daughter and she wants to do a certain kind of wedding.
Lucy at 16.
And
Basso.
I believe that.
Why do you want a 16th birthday party?
So
teenagers are allowed to be happy.
Okay, for me.
Oh no, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be happy. But I'm saying that, like he alluded to the pocket issue. There are certain parties you are not allowed to have when the money is not there.
Like, at 16,
this at 16, this at 18.
That I get you.
Sweetheart, pray to God. Let your birthday be our prayer.
So that is a matter of family beliefs and all those things. For instance, I don't believe in these yearly celebrations because I want to look at the multiples of 5, something you can measure growth and impact, and we can celebrate. But this yearly stuff, before you see another year is in, we are just spending, cutting cake. I mean, what I get angry about is your own birthday. You are organizing for people to come and eat and spend, and they don't come and contribute anything. So it's something you have to be guided, and as we were saying, to be responsible, have set of godly principles you stand for. So you can go for the CEO's gathering, and you are not bothered that. And when you know something is going on, you see you are feeling agitated in your spirit, you are not okay, feel free to walk out.
Of course.
I believe in I don't mind what people will say about me, but what I believe, to stand by what I believe. So it doesn't matter if, let's say, you were paying me 5,000 or something. If it's something that will not help me, like I wanted to ask, so like let's say you're an MC and they invite you for programs and they don't tell you some of the things that will happen. When you are there now, things start changing. What do you do as MCs?
Well, I think that for someone like me, I have an MOU that any phone call that I get, when the person reaches out, what I do is that I tell you to text me on WhatsApp. I send you an MOU. If you allow me, I will even read some parts of it. So it details what I'm supposed to do there, and it details the type of event that I'm doing. So if I get to the event, for instance, if I'm taking 70% upfront before I put even your date down, the only money I'm supposed to, refund to you is when it's a funeral and the date is changed. Every other thing else, you don't get your money back. if I'm taking pictures at the event, you are allowed to tell me that, okay, this event you can take photos, you can take videos. I'll subscribe to that. And also you must let me know the type of event. So in my MOU there's a stipulated agreement where it says we are supposed to have at least 2 meetings before the due date, and it is in those meetings that I'm able to tell that whether I'll do this event or not, because there are pertinent questions I ask. I am not the regular MC. There are certain MCs that they call the book and they show up. And that's not who I am. That's how come I have a very huge professional touch to what I do. And some people don't have those kind of agreements because to them, it won't bring them the business. What if the person pulls out and stuff like that? That's you. Okay? I don't want to be surprised. So there was a day where I think I was booked for an event. Me, I don't like surprises. I don't like surprise. Charlie, I can give you a surprise, but but no, I wouldn't take any surprise. So there was an event that I was supposed to do, and I've been sharing this story a lot. And the couple, they wanted an evening feel. They had a mirror ball when I arrived at 2 p.m. And at the back of my mind, every wedding reception, for my long years of experience, I know we are doing 2 hours or 2 hours 30 minutes. That's what I know. For every wedding reception, I don't know how long you drag it, you would fall within 2 hours 30 minutes. And when I arrived at 2, they had a mirror ball, and I started asking myself, why do you have a mirror ball in the afternoon? Which means that you guys didn't communicate something to me. You want to do an evening program, but you know that it will go beyond the number of hours I'm charging.
It will affect the rating.
It will affect the rating. You understand me? So I approached the groom, and I'm like, killer.
Usually.
I see. So sometimes you don't want to be too hard. You want to understand them first. Like, killer, Charlie, I see a mirror ball and stuff like that. Oh, Charlie, we won't make the team be evening. Then I'm like, no, should have communicated, because what if I have another event?
Which could be the case.
Which could be the case.
And when you are leaving,
right
they said
from
they
here,
paid you, so why?
Must be discussed. So the social intricacies of some of the events that we have, for someone like me, I know beforehand. So I can even be invited to speak somewhere. I ask the event organizers, I ask the host, what time exactly am I talking? Because I've seen on the program 6 p.m. But what time exactly am I speaking?
When you do that, it's what's a meeting.
Because
but it is right, you see. And that is where I think that the Christian is a social life, because that's the next phase of our conversation. Which aspects of the Christian social life should they be more focused on developing? I think that KB and I have been having conversations on the side about how we can push people into the personality development stage. Parts where they can become better than before. Because like we said, to be frank, it's not just about relationship and marriages. We should look to educate the youth, build up the youth, and give them the capacity they need. So if you realize that a lot of Christians, really, people in the believers' fold, do not like to go by the books. They don't like to go by the documentation. You call another Christian sister or Christian brother, okay, sign this MOU, let us know we are doing business. And they're like, the way you and I are. What do you mean by the way you and I are? That is not business. In the business world, you don't tell MTN the way you and I are. Yes, of course. Even when you are registering your email, you don't tell Google that, hey, this terms and conditions, the way you and I are.
Even with that one, we don't read, we just take and we just
and we move
but
forward.
When it's a friend,
so we should be more concerned about the that's why I like what you talked about, the value system of the person. Some people do not have a compass. They don't have a guiding compass as to their personal life or their professional life. So they are futu France. Like, anything goes for them. Anything goes for them. And there is that fear of, if I don't go it that way, I may lose money. I may not get more business. I may not get more contract.
So the word there is they compromise a lot.
They compromise a lot.
But what I've realized is, if Christians were doing more events, there will be nothing like you compromising, because when Christians do events, their Christian values should be stipulated or expected in that. For example, I started doing, like, most of my my beginning of my MC thing, it was more of like this: we are opening this restaurant for this sister, like this business, like then later it's more like, oh, by the way, hey, MC a good, my uncle's father's funeral. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I was like, when you go to the funerals, it's very custom. Like there are things they're expecting you to know. If you don't know, then it's like wait. Then they begin to embarrass you. Say, hey, how they, we don't say this. You don't. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. Now I don't do funerals anymore. But I also realized that in Ghana, interestingly, most weekends
the cocoa season.
That is the cocoa season.
That is the cocoa
so
season.
hello everybody, please. Now I do funeral.
But
You know,
Yes, but a certain way.
yeah.
I do corporate funerals. I don't do,
Do the-
yes. So
the-
I am most of the work that I do. That's what I tell people. Some of the clients that I deal with, you hardly even find me post about them because some of the clients have
They have
very
to be
very
private.
strong.
Oh, no,
yes,
that one.
very
You have
very
to also
private.
respect.
Yes, event. That's how come I'm saying that.
Yeah.
The MOU helps me because you make me understand that see these things cannot go out.
Yeah.
And that is okay for me.
Okay.
So long as I'm going to
So-
get my money,
Yeah.
I'm
so,
fine
so
with it.
from what I'm
you
talking
know.
about money, like it's like Ghana now, we are funeral gbe. We are ceremony gbe.
Uh-huh.
We don't like things that it's not like, hey Charlie, what this I'm saying I can lose money, but let me say, I'm just saying that guys, Charlie, let's also be organizing some conference, TED talk, those things small because like every time they call, oh Charlie, it's an only near Miyashi. It's like it's like no, but it's an only program Miyashi. In other words, you have to make the place turn up. But sometimes I'm like, how long are we going to turn up like all the time?
Yes,
Ghana is like we are always turning
up.
All the time.
And not all events are turn up events.
Exactly.
You understand me?
We understand.
And this is why I agree with KB. So Lucy, let me come to you. We are going to lift the conversation a little higher. Why don't we have a lot of well-resourced conferences,
Yeah.
seminars, workshops, capacity building events for the Christian youth? If you actually take a look at the itinerary of your church for the whole year, you can literally point out the number of times spiritual empowerments were done
Yeah.
as compared to personality developments were done
Yeah.
for the people. So now you and I are left to look elsewhere.
Why not?
Precisely
Only
so.
Miyashi.
For the those other events. And that is where we begin to have the issues because let me just read this messaging. So this is Justice from Huni Valley. Justice from Huni Valley says that, good afternoon to you all. God bless you guys so much for this program. I think Christians do not have a social life because we are saved, but our territories are not safe
Oh.
due to the fact that believers have not been able to command victory over our territories. So you may want to note it down because that's the level of the conversation. I don't know whether God revealed it to him for him to send this message. For this reason, the world system seems to have taken over the entire space, and everything they do in there does not accommodate Christians. Okay, we have not infiltrated our society with the ideas of the kingdom. We are only focused on the gospel that saves, not the gospel that transforms. This is a very powerful message. Very powerful. So we are saved, but there are territories that are not safe for us because we as Christians have not commanded over.
And it's as
These
he's
territories.
saying, we have decided not to take over. We are just sitting. It's just like
our salvation is enough.
yeah.
And let me sit in my
That
corner
is
with
selfishness too, because it's like, oh yeah, after me, master, I don't mind. Even let me ask this question here. Most of us sitting in this room will say we are born again, but you are not concerned about your mother and your father's salvation. It's when they are on the sick bed and you remember that, hey, Charlie,
Let's prayer.
all those kind of things. So, and as the person said, there's a book I'm publishing next year that we like the gospel of salvation, but
Not
as
of
it's
transformation.
because Christianity, after you are saved,
We need to
you don't die immediately. Then you know you are gone. You have to survive and impact your generation. But we are not doing that. So it's like we've sat down and we allowed the world determine the narrative, and it's like either we are now trying to catch up, or we want to create the Christian side of things. So like what KB started, Christmas wasn't a biblical something, but we realized that
No,
that
Santa
it-
Claus, please,
No,
so that
Santa
they don't
Claus.
come and eat
Christmas
me.
in general. There's no Christmas in
Well,
the
it's
Bible.
true. Christ wasn't born in winter, but
So
yeah,
we
but-
realized
oh, yeah,
that people were celebrating that. So for us to get them in church,
We must Christianize
bring
it.
a church one. So it's like the world set the pace, then we are trying to catch up.
And you know, I read last year, I think I even said it on this show, I read last year that apparently the red and white and green Christmas colors, not even the tree, the colors were suggested by Coca-Cola. It was an advertising campaign
Brandon,
that they ran, and all of a sudden that white and red thing.
When I tell you, Christianity is westernized, then I'm like,
and it was very, very surprising. And so you see, at the end of the day, what I've seen lately, however, to add is the Pentecost Church. You know, I'm putting names out there, not because I want to single them.
Pentecost or Pentecost Church?
Because one was in Acts and one's headquarters in Ghana.
Okay, the Church of Pentecost.
Pentecostalism is
so the Church of Pentecost
is
lately have started putting out its either images or the names of people in their fold who are doing very well.
Yeah.
And they target along with possessing the nations.
Yeah.
For me, from a PR perspective, I think that that's a great thing to start. Because in a way, it kind of tells another Christian that it's possible for us to take over.
It's possible, not by me as well.
No, it's possible for us to take over. You are having a lot of political undertones. I hope they don't call you. So you see, that thing where the creative industry, the business environment, and shockingly, the truth of the matter is most of these people that hold the top positions are Christians. Why is it so difficult for them?
I spoke with one, and the person said they tried coming on board with our pastors and churches, and they refused. Some saw it that it's not biblical, but
can you imagine?
That's the funny thing. But my own is, I have been having this argument with my wife, and she believes it. I said we teach the people to bring 10%. But we've not bothered to teach them what to do with the 90%.
How to even get it.
How to even get the 100 and now give you the 10.
Exactly. And also getting the multiple source of income.
That's what we are saying. The fear or the I don't know if they don't know. Because some too may think when we start teaching the people how to do, like one of these days, I saw Archbishop Charles Ajinasara, I think last month or so.
Yeah, last month his focus was on wealth.
Stuff. Yeah. I was with a friend and he came on, hey, I said, Bishop is kappa. So you see the notion that came.
For him, like I've always said, because I'm a member of the church, I know that his focus is more about the people building capacity for themselves. Because there is this statement he makes all the time. He says, I know the church I pastor. I know the church I pastor. And I know the financial capacity of the church. And he said it on a platform where we organized a particular event. He looked at the pricing of the event and he said that no, he doesn't think that looking at the current economic conditions, this event should fly. And from a father's perspective, I understood him because he was considering the other church members. Let's not do it for a select few, and the rest of the people will not benefit from it. So when he started the series, it is not something that he has even done in a vacuum, because in Perez, if you know the way the calendar runs, it's thematic. So in a particular month, we treat a certain time so that it doesn't look,
and
skewed
it's
towards
important.
We
name we give themes for the year, and there is no program driving that.
But this year is the year of God's power. No, so how do we have? I'm
not talking about Perez alone, but other churches. They can tell this is your year of breakthrough.
How are you going to break through?
January they say anything. So February.
Well,
they say anything.
The observation I made is, it sounds controversial, but most of the churches or the offshoots of churches we have in Ghana, it's not been decolonized. Let me explain.
Okay.
This thing, anytime I said among friends, oh, you endorse your thing. But the truth is that there are emphasis that lacked because the way it was even introduced to us is that it was a means. Like we are going to have, when the once again posturing
this world
is that this world is not our own. You know what I'm saying? Like those kind of things.
Oh yeah, it's the initial preachings. They made it look like the world is coming to end. Now when they realize the end was not ending, and we have to survive. That's what someone said.
What Pastor Dieter is saying is the year they attached to some of the prophecies, like in 2000. You remember what happened there?
I know, but here we are, and the world is still going to end.
And 2010.
We are still
And 2020.
It's still going to
In fact, people thought that the COVID was a precursor
Yeah.
to the.
So it is still ending.
So it
We know.
made us to
But as we are
unfortunately, it made us unfortunately bastardize knowledge, science,
We
going
bastardize knowledge.
acquiring wealth.
Let me explain. When you tell me that I should pray, my nation will get well, there is nowhere I've seen peace without justice. Even in heaven, they had to fight a war to get the devil out before there was peace. So, this is shout out to the Peace Council. This bit about peace. If there's no justice, if there's no pepeye, every people will feel agitated.
Smart your station, they will call us.
Oh no.
Unfortunately,
We are within
you are
editorial.
not
Interesting,
spectator.
we
You
are
are not spectator.
citizens.
Yeah,
We are
citizen.
Ghanaian citizens, and whether like a Christian is within the
Yes,
country.
and we cannot function out of the country.
Yes. So I'm saying that I'm sure it's part of their man in their peace council. I'm sure they also make sure the security whatever, they're also going to not be biased.
Yeah.
Because once you have justice, you are going to have peace. It's like a byproduct. They're working. So if you want your wife to submit,
Love her.
love her, and but if you are not loving, she won't submit. I had to go there, So
It's very necessary.
when we bastardize science, or there's a way when I don't know if I should that type when
There were narratives. I mean, even in 2020, there was a church that didn't think that nose masks were necessary. So these are some of the conversations that he's talking about. The fact that sometimes we shun certain things, like
Science.
for instance, the conversation about mortality rate, where they talk about some mothers who needed a cesarean section,
Yes.
but based on certain faith and religious beliefs, they are like, no, I won't do it. I'll give birth like the Hebrew woman. You understand me? Because from the pulpit, they have heard that when you go into the labor ward, you would give birth like the Hebrew woman. You wouldn't struggle with it. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen.
Yes.
But there are certain complications you may have gathered along the 9-month journey, which would require a cut. If that option comes up, like KB is saying, you must look to it, because these are medicinal procedures that have been tried and tested. That hey, if you go ahead to have this baby through the natural means, you would have you might lose your life, and if you do not lose your life, the child we might lose the child.
Some even do, and the mother couldn't walk afterwards or something.
There are a lot of downsides to the things that happen in the labor ward. So now upscaling. Lucy, which areas of the Christian life, when it comes to the social aspect of the Christian life, which areas needs to be developed? Some of the things that we need to really introduce into the churches to build capacity for our brothers. I watched the video one day, and I was sad because I think it was a relationship seminar, and the lady that asked the pastor a question said that the men of the world are more ambitious than the men in the church. And when they meet the men of the world, the vision and the plans they have, it's like everything is booked, like they have it written down, like the dream is crafted. Like, hey, if I land 50,000 cities right now, I will invest here, I will do this. But you hardly find that with the Christian brothers.
They are believing God.
Then why is it so?
Sometimes it could be the church you belong to or what your leader to is, because it's like I said somewhere, I'm not speaking for Lucy, but sometimes you go, I say Ghana, what we are now is we are a reflection of our leaders. Yes, we elected them. But we finish and say,
when I say this on the platform, people argue with me. Ghana's problem is Ghana's people. Ghana's people.
Yes.
Yesterday, a friend of mine celebrated his birthday, and belated birthday to NKD, and we partnered with the Bus Stop Boys, if you know them, with support from Zoom Lion. They provided skip stuff and all that. Then, if you know Achimota very well, talking about the overhead that leads you to the new station. That curve that brings you down next to the Kantanka, there's a sharp curve there that takes you to the top. There was a tipper truck trying to meander its way into that particular road. Then this man ordered his taxi driver to park,
So that he gets down.
Now he gets down and we are like, a higher bus stop. Because he stopped the tipper truck from coming. And the man kept honking. And these guys, they at a point, they don't really care anymore. They can just run over you. And this man was fighting with us. And I paused for a minute to ask myself, how does someone defend wrong? Like where you parked in the middle of a road and you are fighting. Then another woman came by. She was blocking the road. And when we approached there, I think maybe she was thinking that, we work for some government, or the assembly.
Agency.
She said, if you do, I'll report you people to headquarters. And we are like, you are talking to a group of entrepreneurs. Who will you report us?
To respond to
And it's amazing, like you are saying. Yeah. At the end of the day, you just realize that Ghana's problem is just Ghana's people. So, Lucy, I took your words out of your mouth.
Yes. I would like to, take something that Smart said when he was talking about KB said when he was talking about we not seeking knowledge and all.
We are not adding to our faith.
We are not adding to our faith because we know the world is coming to an end. And so once the world is coming to an end, what the hell am I going to make with money? Why would I have to stress myself so much?
You will lose all at the end.
You will lose all at the end.
Certificate.
The message from the pulpit.
Why will I even improve myself? Because what if I finish improving myself and the world comes to an end? What a wasted of effort.
This thing I've remembered. It won't help the show.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
You've thought about it.
Gagging myself a lot.
Yeah.
One
of our fathers said that no matter who you are, when you come to the church, know that the pastor is beyond you or something like that.
The pastor is beyond.
It's serious.
But so that is what when you say that, it becomes dangerous in the sense that if you think that of course he's your shepherd, so he's beyond you, but he's not your God. There is a difference. Okay, that is how come the Bible asks us to also study to show ourselves approved. It's that simple. It is there for everybody to study and decipher things for himself. It is good to listen to the leader who is your shepherd as a man of God. But then again, they even advise us that once they have also preached the word, we should go ahead and study. We should do further studies because it helps us. Now, that is just me derailing. You are asking me some of the things we need to bring to the church. Talking about...
No, I think about secular guys being more ambitious.
No, yes, but
when
before that,
some of the things we can introduce
to the
church so that we can all build capacity and meet up.
The church can also build the capacity and then meet up. The thing is that you said earlier that most of the business gurus are church people. They are in our churches, and sometimes, yes, more often than not, when you mention about some of the teachings of the church, it is not really on regular basis that we teach on wealth creation.
Precisely.
How to bring ideas, how to brainstorm, how to use the internet to help us, make our researches on what to do and what not to do in order to grow and also get some form of income. Like you mentioned, they ask us for 10%. They don't teach us
how to
even get the 100.
My problem is getting. If you don't have, how can we collect?
Yeah. And which is also a well-versed point. We have people in the church that can set up, like you said, the TED Talks, the entrepreneurial things, how to guide us. Sometimes most of them want one-on-one thing. But imagine a church, let me use Perez for example. Look at the number. How many of them can do one-on-one shepherding? But more than enough times, let's say that throughout the year, our holidays, we pick our holidays. We have about 13 holidays, 12 to 13 holidays. We pick each holiday and set up,
prayer meeting.
Prayer. See, my church prayer every quarter we do fasting and prayers.
Oh, yours is quarter.
No, like every quarter, and then sometimes every month, which prepares us. So, like my local church, we have the general prayer, spiritual emphasis month that we do, but every quarter we set up fasting and prayers for the local church.
Spiritual emphasis.
And before we zoom there to the end of the year, and then sometimes to the end of sometimes even our quarter ends in December. But the end of the year, December, we still pray, fast and pray 3 days, zoom into January.
Very necessary.
I think we have had enough. So rather than organizing prayer meetings, imagine we had TED Talks and business seminars for the 13 holidays.
I struggle to get this, Lucy. I'm glad you mentioned, but I struggle to get this. Why is a CEO of a different organization, a corporate institution whatsoever, in all the industries, why is he ready to speak at a business breakfast meeting organized by, let's say, a different like graphic group of communications? But when the church is trying to get that same CEO to speak in church on business models, we hear something like he's a busy man.
But is it him that is saying he's a busy man, or the church is making the excuse?
Most
for him?
of them are, for me, I have experiences. They are ready to come.
Okay.
They are ready to speak. But sometimes the kind of backdoor conversations the pastor make with them, it's like, make sure everything you are saying is biblical, is this and that. So some of them, when they stand there, they feel capacity.
Okay. So the content is drained.
Yeah.
Because they are forced to put almost everything
in the context of
as
the
if
Bible.
after you finish speaking, we should be slain under the anointing. Then we know that the meeting happened in church, so Holy Ghost took over.
Okay,
But
I didn't even
No,
look at it from
okay.
that perspective.
So it means that we are supposed to give them room to talk business.
Yes.
And
Not necessarily business, but like capacity building.
Yes.
Because even sometimes you give church people work to do.
it is the
And
knowledge
they
that
go
they have.
lazing about and they go and it's true. I can tell you, not less than 10 people, I did my own connections, spoke to CEOs to employ them. They want to disgrace me. Some go and do devotion at the workplace, like 8 to 5. I called them, I said, sacking. But when you woke up, you couldn't do devotion in the trotro that was in 2 hours traffic. You couldn't do devotion inside.
But that gap must
So
be
all
closed
those
somehow.
training,
and all those training, like we said, like I said, we have 12 to 13 holidays. So within each holiday, we do business seminars, we do conferences for the youth. That is not besides the point. In fact, there was another point of you bringing in cesarean and other things.
The
And
medicinal.
I said earlier, we as Christians, what we do not understand, we are quick to demonize, and that is our bane. And if the Bible says when you go to labor, you deliver like the Hebrew woman. I want to believe that the definition of delivery like a Hebrew woman is coming home safe and sound with your baby and you intact.
Yeah. Very key.
That is the key point
whether
of
you were
having
cat, normal.
so so that is where, and we have the people, good gracious God, we have the doctors.
They defend by saying the olden days they didn't have theater.
They did not have the knowledge.
Room.
You see, that's
they
the
didn't
thing.
have theater room.
You know,
but that was so people died with their babies.
I said, I said, what we don't understand, we demonize. People are still demonizing surrogacy. People are still demonizing people carrying pregnancies for others, and so even bastardizing them and telling them once you didn't carry the child, that kind of maternal, excuse my French,
this thing is not there.
I wasn't going to say. I was going to say that maternal nonsense, because they think once you carry the child, there is this sort of maternal thing that attaches you to the child.
Connection.
That's the thing. You see, so you begin to understand that all those things are perceptions that we have nurtured, and you see things that have been imputed into the mind of people over years is difficult to eradicate.
On learning,
So this is what I always say. Everything starts from the home. Once KB was talking, he was talking about church, the pastor has affluence wedding, or the pastor's child
daughter's
has
wedding,
big wedding, so I want to have my wedding. That is the pastor and what he can afford and what he has. The pastor is my shepherd. He looks over me. My soul is important to him because he is supposed to help me, guide me into salvation, which is okay. But then again, I started from a home. I have a background. I have where I started from before the pastor came in. And I like something that you said. You mentioned that even when you go out there, look, I will always go back to the point that when we are nurturing human beings as children and people grow up to develop them, we should nurture them with a right kind of information and not put fear in them. This is in the sense that your child goes to secondary school. Let's say you are afraid and the child is in the boarding house. You are not there. It is what you have imputed into the child that is going to salvage him or her.
Yeah, once you are not there.
It's
because of that some people don't allow their children go for boarding schools.
It's a lie. Even the day student, they do worse.
I always say it because it's the kind of training you give a child.
People are good at hiding stuff.
Yes.
People are very good at hiding stuff.
You have no idea what human beings can do and hide. And some children are living double lives. Their parents have no idea.
I've seen
because they will show them what they want to see.
As a pastor there, you hear a lot.
You will see people change in washrooms at hotels and like you see a lot of them. Sometimes I have an event at a hotel. I go into the hotel. Maybe I spotted this lady before she went in. Okay. And when she came out, I'm like,
Chameleon.
You know, it's
Lady Camilla.
Changes.
So it is, and like he said, just like parents, when we also get to a point, there are people we look up to, like our pastors. Yeah. So what they tell us actually also has influence on us.
Precisely.
But we must also learn to research and find out. There is nothing wrong. You see, the fact that I'm making more research about what my pastor says does not mean I'm doubting him.
And the Bereans. Yeah. That's what the Bereans did.
It only means that I want to gather more. And then help me also grow, because he will not be there for me forever. Yeah. So I should also be able to get to a point.
Yeah, the parenting is very important.
Yes, so smart. It will start from the house. Because when you have strong foundations, sometimes people go like, you are too strong-headed, like you said, you are too principled, you are too rigid, you are unbending. It is not like that. You are focused. You know where you are. Yeah. You know where you are going to. You know where you come from. And no amount of what I have seen, the nakedness of people walking around, I am there, so then all of a sudden I am. No, you can be there, but you are not there.
Precisely.
And it will not have that kind of influence on you.
But so you have to also know your strength.
Okay. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Especially with the guys there. We know our strength.
Strength comes from within. And even strength, it grows. It is nurtured.
Yeah,
it doesn't just happen. Yeah. So when you're able to give that kind of mental fortitude, when you're able to give that kind of education, if we get more of that, every Sunday we get to preach, midweek service we have. But let's just say that every holiday in the year, we organize these health talks, we organize these TED talks, we organize this business seminar, because we want the youth of the church to grow. We want them to become wealthy people. And when he said he was busy, you see, those men, and I used to tell my friends that if you're a group of friends, see, even if I am organizing a birthday party and I want you to come and MC for me, I won't tell you to give me friends and family but that's what
it's almost the case.
Yes,
almost always the case.
See,
my bad.
That is the thing.
Almost
always the case. Yeah, it's like it's like the blood of Jesus should compensate for that discount. I mean, how?
The blood of Jesus, oh my God! If Smart knows that I'm going to give him his due, as any other person out there will give him, he will come and do short.
I wouldn't. And actually,
but even with this, they are busy thing too. Sometimes some of the churches have people who are like, you can't tell me Perez don't have CEOs.
Oh, they have. That is what I'm saying.
But some too, in bringing them together and let's run this thing. Then they go and bring someone from outside. Then they give him honorarium or something. Yeah. Then the day that person disappointed, they remember KB is a member. Then we see him to stand.
That's what I'm saying. Because
so some will not mind.
You and I were not here.
I didn't say
you and I were not here.
Starts with us.
Yes.
I have friends that are marketing people. I'm an HR. I have friends that are finance people. Let's just say that my company is recruiting for a finance person, but I have people who are out there. So then I tell my marketing lady, oh, Charlie, I'm doing interviews, I need you on board. The finance person, I'm doing interview, I need you on board. I'm not supposed to think that once they are my friend and I'm bringing them on board, it's going to be
they don't get their sitting allowance.
And it is something I had been doing. And so these things that we are talking about, it even starts with us.
I'm available for communications and
all this. I get it.
I can sit on the panel.
No, but that is what we do.
I'm selling myself.
It doesn't even matter. Once I know, and I'm looking for a particular person or a particular brand or a particular person for me, and I know Smart can be there to help me make the right choice, I should bring him on board.
Simple.
And then give him something. if he's supposed to come to a place, he will bring a vehicle, we'll feed him. So even if it's online and he's in the comfort of his home, I should be able to give him something.
Yeah, some people are not ready to.
And it starts with us. So when it grows and we become the pastors and the leaders, we think those that we have should also do it for us for free. And
Yes.
that's the thing.
We are 35 minutes into the hour of 3. You're still live on To Be Frank. We are coming to you on Precious Television and also on Facebook and YouTube. It's Precious TV Official. You can send us your WhatsApp message 0203438710. There's a video from Apostle Femi Emmanuel that I want us to take a look at briefly. We will be jumping on the phone lines right when we come back to the studio. Let's take a look at this particular video. We'll be right back.
Nobody will know you for anything. Master one thing well. Success gives birth to success. When you have succeeded in a particular calling or career or profession, and then you can give birth to another. But we do this, we do that, in everything. Some people say they are looking for job. Help me, sir. I'm looking for job. What job? They say anything. Anything means nothing. If just anyone can do what you do, you are a laborer. There is nowhere in the world where laborers are highly paid. You must have a profession. You must have a career. You must have something you do so well that when they are looking for who to do it, they look for you. You build yourself up to that level. So I ask you, what do you know so well?
So this is a striking statement, because one of the things that he said that caught my attention was the fact that
If whatever you do, everybody can do.
then you're a laborer. If whatever you do, everybody can do it, then you're a laborer. And that was a very striking statement for me, because I think that sometimes, if for some of us who are doing, quite well, in our business space, in our profession, you find a lot of the young people come around you. They want mentorship. They want direction. Then you ask them, what can you do? Then they say something like anything. You see, so that is where I struggle with areas where the Christian brothers and sisters need to develop themselves, especially with their social aspect of their life, because I have a lot of friends who recruit and the recruitment does not even see the light of day in terms of online. There is no advertisement. There is no calling. There is nothing. It is just a WhatsApp message. In a year, I can receive about 20 to 30 people asking me, Smart, do you know anyone who can do communications for me? And they don't feel the need to go online and go and type it there that this company is looking for. No. They send it to friends. Charlie, do you know any young person between 25 to 30 who can, the starting and sometimes they tell you starting salary is 3K, this and that. The person must live within. Then you really want to help a Christian brother. What can you do? Then the person goes like, anything. And I'm wondering, do we have people like that?
Yes.
Like you can climb the rig to drill oil, and you the same person, you can jump onto the power lines. I mean, that is anything.
I
to
think
me.
culturally it's a form of what they taught us humility. Like in boss, I think it's also a culture. We have to correct it.
Yes.
We have to reorient.
They don't know themselves or low self-esteem.
So you should speak on that.
And when-
I don't want you to give it like a passing statement. I want you to speak on it for people watching us to understand that that thing is not humility. Because you can be humble to the point where you vanish in a room and you are not part of the conversation.
True.
And I picked up that from Tyrese. He said that some people
Gibson?
Tyrese Gibson. He said that some people in contracts they humble themselves to the point where they don't even contribute to what they are worth.
Okay.
So there are negotiations going on. What will you take? You there, the way you and I are, whatever you give me, that is not negotiation. And these are the social aspects of life that we should begin to tell the young people in the church. Because when we all grew up, we realized that soft skills were the harder things to learn.
True.
Like negotiating your worth on a table.
Or selling your
value.
It's difficult.
What is your unique selling proposition? All these things were there, and we thought that, it's all about just, rote learning, memorization, and being able to reproduce what I have been told. No. You get into the business world and somebody tells you, what is your BTL? Then you are you are wondering what is BTL in negotiations. So what is below your level? Like if we give you this amount, it's a no. But what is at your level? That if you, even if a chinchin sokrana at this figure, I can do the job.
That is real boss at
Yeah.
least this level.
Well, we're opening the phone lines, but I think that personality development is a thing that we must pick a day to discuss.
Yeah.
It is critical, especially in this day and age. People don't know public speaking skills. And communication is
And
actually one
funny-
of the 21st century skills.
Yeah.
You know, funny enough, most of the churches to do some of this, and the members don't go.
Did you say most?
That is what
now,
I'm coming to.
before there's a last time I think I was
Ginger.
criticizing Ginger that we are always going to Western. A research according to a certain research.
no.
When you say most, do you know the most Ghanaians? they
So-
are not
so-
in your
Yeah, so
middle
that's why
class.
me, I'm talking for Christians. And
no, are you talking about urban Christians?
No, so KB,
So-
what he's saying is that
because most
So I
Christians
know,
are in
so
Kumu.
I can give
I
you
have
the
experience.
difference.
They are in Senkregwa, they are in Suhum.
I have
They are in
experienced.
Tolong.
I've experienced what he's saying.
Yeah.
So
Let me just,
what does
let
it
me
by
just
most?
put it out there. He's saying that some churches, not most churches, some
He said
churches.
most.
Well, I'm saying
No,
that-
I'm putting it to him.
No,
Also,
he
you
will,
said
come,
most.
he will come in, but I'm talking about my experience. Some churches
Okay.
organize these capacity building events. Some churches, normally at the youth level, normally. And
What's the ratio in terms of percentage?
now I'm talking about some
Like
churches.
seven out of
I
10?
say this because I have been invited a couple of
So
times.
urban churches.
Yes, urban churches.
Let's get it
Urban
clear because
churches.
rural churches I don't see it.
Then when you attend the event, I mean, recently I was called to do a leadership school, not Bible school, for a certain church. The concept of servitude in growing your professional career. I arrived and no one was there. At the time I was given. Okay, and I waited an hour
Yeah.
plus before they came in. And if you take a look at the number of people the president projected and the number of people that actually showed up
They are not interested.
on the day, is quite infinitesimal. So then you begin to ask yourself, are we helping ourselves?
Yeah.
Or we are
Lack
not
of
helping
interest
ourselves?
too.
Lack of interest is there, and the apathy is great.
Yeah.
Because the youth of today, we must begin to drum the message home for them to understand what used to be guy 10 years ago is not guy anymore.
It is still guy for
It
them.
is not guy anymore. Because today, if you don't have the basic skills, and today when we talk about basic, IT is even basic.
Oh, yeah.
You understand me? Communication is basic. You give someone a microphone and it's like media meet to me, they let somebody else. And these are basic skills today. And very soon, I'm sure even in the next 5 years, coding will be basic.
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
it might be basic.
At
So
least in the West.
that is where I'm saying that I get him.
No, but he said
Well, no.
most churches
No,
do.
maybe it is the qualification of the most that you didn't like.
Yeah, like maybe most is in urban churches fine. But what we forget is that Christianity is bigger than Accra. There's a way we use that small
No, you see, let me
subsection of
let-
charismatic
KB, let me defend
thing,
myself. The
the
thing is that
events.
I do a lot of church consulting, and it's not just Accra. So I've even what's the name? Smart said. You go. I've been invited to Suhum, Kumasi, and I'm using these names not because of where they are, to their villages. But if I mention it, if I mention their village, you will not know. So I have to use in Sahom, for instance, so that you know. But if I should tell you somewhere
Maybe the suburbs.
if you go and they tell them, oh, Obini Ebabe Kasa about saying how to get money, make money, multiply money. Oh, they said okay. You get there, they are not there. You go 2, 3, 4 people are just there. But let the pastor said we are doing a Holy Ghost service, or the pastor coming. Oh, Ngusra one so yale. Oh, people who are even not sick.
Because it's how we brought them in.
So
When we
that's
went
what
to the
I'm saying,
crusade,
is
we
that-
told them, Bra Christo, or best
No,
of some
but no,
Bra.
aside that, I'm
How come when we sell the false expectation that Christ didn't say, and they come, we want to sell them something
I want
else?
to believe we have not drummed down well on the importance of
agree.
working,
I agree.
because
We've not done down what, please?
the message and the importance of working. Most of
work.
the churches
Working,
are church
like
people are
really
lazy.
working.
Yeah, like
No, it's how we brought them in.
So that's what
Bruh.
he's saying. We have not
Yeah, we've
drummed
not
the
drummed
message
message
well.
down.
So rather, how we even bring them in, to me, in the first place, is where we should correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are opening the phone lines at this point in time. 0207 10,001. 0207 10,001. one, you can call into the show and share your opinion with us about the Christian and their social life. Do Christians even have a social life in the first place? If it's not funeral, it is a wedding on a Saturday. How many people are actually attending events that would actually build their professional lives
You
very,
even organize
very well?
a program for free and they don't come.
And a lot of them do not show up. And
And
so,
funny enough, some to the paid ones
How
they
was
respond to.
Christianity
We have-
sold to them?
let me
That
read this
Christ is
message.
a
Let me read
one-stop
this
shop.
message,
That is
KB.
the problem.
Fred from Kumasi says that I think it is the fear and the loss of trust in the Christian setting. I believe if we are taught the results of everything we do in life, the person will choose for him or herself. We are missing opportunities to enjoy as believers. So that's Fred. The fear and the loss of trust. in the
Because we've
Christian
also
setting.
been made to believe every resource you need to get must be by prayer. So for instance, some of them, instead of going
Okay.
for a workshop to develop themselves,
Let's pick our first caller. Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome to Be Frank. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, I'm Ivan calling from Domanesikuma in the Central Region.
Okay. All right, Evans, let's hear you.
Okay, so what I would say is most churches do organize these career buildings and other stuff, but the issue is the people they bring on board. You know, the youth nowadays need people that can give us more information about what to do, actually how to get there. But you know, they will bring people that they will be telling us about their life stories. Nikoye, I did this. I went to this. I did this. But how to get there? That is what people would want. So they will come there, speak about their life stories, not giving out the main purpose of what I went there to learn. So these things are now preventing the youth from learning. I came in late. I played the channel very late, and I was listening to a point whereby they were asking about what can you do. In my sense, you know, in Ghana now, people go to school just for the certificate, and now if they call out for an employment, they basically tell you this is what they want. But there are some people that are versatile, so they will just tell you, oh, no certificate, so you just employ me, I will do it. There are others too, you know, they just want to feel occupied at everywhere, so they will just tell you that, oh, Commissioner, I will just do it. There are people like that. And I think if we are centering it, we are letting them know what to do. This is your rank, or this is where you can do, or what is what you can do. As you were saying, it's really going to help the Christian community as well, and then the youth itself. So I think it's a startup from people that organize those
The events. Okay.
Those events. What message is the person going to communicate outside there? They should first sit the person down, let them know what message is the person going to communicate, because they've seen him all over. But that time or point in time, someone will be coming there to just talk trash. Honestly, sorry to use that word. But the message the person will just carry across is a no. You come there, you just listen to stories. You call Turkey, you call say, and that's all what you say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Evans. That's Ivan speaking to us on the fact that some speakers who come to these events do not even provide the practical steps that a person needs. And I'm a firm believer of that, because I believe in practical learning. A lot in practical learning. There are a lot of things that I've worked on that it was not just by stories. The story factor should be a motivational engagement, you know, something to whip up your interest in life if you are giving up. But when it comes to business workshops, masterclass, there are practical ways that we are taught how to brand yourself as an MC to be preferred than another person. 0207 10001 0207 10001 calling. We have another caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
My name is Joshua, and I'm calling from Suhum.
Okay. Joshua from Suhum. I hope it's not the church that Pastor Newton came to.
Oh, no.
Let's hear you, Joshua.
I want to share my opinion.
Yes,
it's
please.
Like the pastors of today, they usually
Some pastors
talk of their future. They don't usually tell us the truth. But if they usually tell us the truth, like it is not how we are today.
What truth? What truth are you looking to the pastors to tell?
They promise us on material things. You go to this, you do this and that. It doesn't help the church and the people of the church. That's how we are today, and that's how it is. We are losing. Black men and African are losing today. So if they may speak the truth to the church people, I am hoping all things will be possible. So they should tell the truth.
Okay, that's Joshua.
Not like well-being or this thing.
So I think
okay, that's Joshua from
truth,
Suhum.
but the real realistic things.
Yeah.
Because this thing he asked, my wife asked me this, always asks me the question that the way most pastors and prophets, I see you getting a visa to US. She was asking, so do pastors there to prophesy to people? I see you going to Ghana.
I don't think so.
Africa.
Why would they want to
I think they come here for humanitarian purposes.
Yeah.
I want to find out, is it that the educational system in Ghana has failed and we are putting pressure on pastors?
KB, hold on.
The educational system.
KB, hold on. We have a third caller. Hello, good afternoon, and you're welcome to Be Frank.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm Abigail calling from Kasua.
Okay, Abigail, let's hear you.
Thank you so much for the show. God bless you.
Amen.
In fact, Christians have socialized. Yes, I would say that. And then there is this point you raised, Mr. Smart, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times the events are organized, but the turn-up is the issue. Today's youth are not ready to learn. And it's a like most of the leaders of the churches do their best to organize such events or programs. By the end of the day, you get there. The facilitator will come and be like, what are all this? That is the reason why I think when you invite most of the people who are gurus in the church to come and take over the event, they will tell you I'm busy. Because they know the turn-up is not going to be encouraging. And number two, we have to encourage the youth so that they will turn up for programs. Because if they don't come and they teach, how will they learn it? So please, I thank you so much for this program, and God bless you so much. And I love my lady sitting there.
Lucy, yeah?
Lady, hi. God bless you so much.
Okay, so that's Abigail talking to us from Kaswa. The encouragement, I think that is one of the things that we also mentioned. The fact that when the message comes, it's as if it's a passing, Saturday there will be a career. The emphasis we put on spiritual issues, it's really not the same when it comes to
spiritual place.
You know,
those ones are any other business.
0207 10,001 holistic
yeah.
approach, because I'm Luke 252. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Then you're quoting the diet. Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome to Be Frank.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Your name, sir, and where you're calling us from?
Yes, I'm Eric Ujo Abindo, speaking from Tatali in the northern region.
Okay, Eric, let's hear you.
I think I didn't follow you from the beginning of the program, but from what I heard, I think the issue is not about the interest to learn a career or to develop oneself. Yes, I am speaking from a rural community.
Okay.
So once in a while, we do organize programs as such to sensitize the youth about the need to learn a career or develop oneself. But the problem is the facilities available for us to go into this career development or learning to develop oneself. We have the youth here who are interested in developing themselves or learning a trade or career But the issue is they lack the financial support to be able to travel to a place like Accra, Kumasi, or Tamale, where these facilities are available for us to be able to learn or develop ourselves. So I think the problem is not entirely about the interest, but the facilities are not available.
Okay, that is from where you're speaking to us from, to be specific.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. So Eric's issue is quite peculiar because he's speaking to us all the way from Tamale, and he's saying that some of the challenges they encounter there is quite different. Like the people have been equipped with the right knowledge, the necessary skills, but sometimes they don't have the push, the capital. I think it stems from the understanding that certain skills or certain professions thrive better within Accra, Kumasi, and the likes. But let's pick this caller quickly. Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome to Be Frank.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, good
Is
afternoon.
this Abigail again?
Yeah, Abigail from Kaswa.
Back again.
From Pastor. Thank you. I think I left one point out yesterday. Please, when it comes to the facilitators or those who take up the event of like career guidance and all that, I plead with them to be frank with us, like the show. Yeah, they should be frank in the sense.
You lost her.
Oh, we lost Abigail.
Maybe she's trying to say, don't tell her you start your business with one spoon of
it's network.
petrol.
Well,
you start your business with one spoon of petrol.
It's network.
Like a pharmaceutical company that the owner said he started with
with
one
one city.
No,
Well, 0207 10,000 1 0207 10,000 1. The Christians and their social life. Do Christians even have a social life at all? And if they do, what seems to be the problem? One of our texters mentioned that we are not ready to take over the industries. We are always reserved. We are, we think that the gospel is just for our salvation, but not for the transformation. Another texter also mentioned that he thinks the reason is for fear and also loss of trust in the Christian setting. I think Abigail enumerated the fact that some facilitators arrive and the people are not there. 2, 3, encouragement. And Eric from up north was saying that some people don't have the financial capability to finance the dream or the profession that they have. But I'm thinking that, when you break it down, Eric, this is my candid opinion. I would come to my friends in the studio for that. I think that sometimes you approach work to gather enough to go and pursue your passion later. That's what I did personally for my life. And I don't want it to sound like a motivational story, but then I had to, at a point, help my mom sell face towel, bed sheets to accrue some money and later go and pursue what I really want to do. So there are certain skills we develop along the line just to aid us through a season.
Like you have to be a laborer.
Yeah, you have to be a laborer.
You can become an expert.
It will shock you that even those times you are laboring to
you would find
something that will also help you in your real goal,
okay.
Honestly.
Let's pick this caller. Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome to Be Frank. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, I think we've lost the caller. Lucy, you were saying that while laboring,
whilst you are laboring to gather the money to chase your dream, it will shock you that once you are chasing the dream or once you have been able to do it, the little things you were doing whilst you were laboring
will build you.
It will build you.
True.
And you find out that even within the dream, it will come as an added advantage, which will also help
That's
you.
true.
So it is all good.
With
and
Eric,
I wanted to say about Eric, the Tamale one. It's difficult in our setting for people to actually put financial resources to a person's dream. And I think as youth, I always say that we should learn how to come together.
Partnerships.
Okay.
Partner.
Lucy, hold that thought. Let me just pick this caller quickly. Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome to Be Frank.
Hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Abigail. Sorry, I dropped off.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We are listening to you. You were saying some of the facilitators have to be frank with the attendees.
Yes, please. Yes, I said they should be frank in the sense that they should expose their weaknesses to us. You know, some of the youth try their best, but along the line they fail several times. And these people, the big men, let me say, they present themselves as if they are supermen. They've never failed before. So they should tell us the truth. They should expose us to the fact that they have failed several times, or they have encountered this challenge or the other, but they failed through, and then they have come thus far. With that, I think the youth will be encouraged to also venture some of these, enterprises and all that, and the Lord will help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abigail. Of course, the Lord will certainly help
Paint an
us.
all rosy picture.
Lucy, let's wrap up. Producer, I don't think we'll be taking more calls as of now. Thank you so much for holding the phone lines for us. Let's come back to the studio. Lucy, you were
So I was saying that we should learn to partner up. When we go to school, we make friends from people from different their departments.
Yeah.
So there is something apart from I'm supposed to start a business. We say 10,000 Ghana cedis, but we are a group of 4. It is easier for everybody to bring their sweat capital. That is your knowledge, and then you can also gather 2,000 or 2,525. It is easy to get it together and then move for fairness and in the bid to partner.
Sign contracts.
Let's be diligent. Let's put pen to paper.
Okay. I was about to correct you because sometimes when you tell Christians be diligent, they don't want to do paper. Tell them to do paper.
Yes.
They should do documentation.
Yes. It's very necessary.
And
the partnership agreement must be spelled out,
It's
like
business.
in profit basis,
Yeah.
what someone is
Margin.
getting.
The reason why they don't go into
Let's
the
take away the
partnership,
bitterness from the church because a lot of people are doing things for free in the church.
Yeah.
A lot of people are being, hey, come and help me, and at the end of the day,
when they do come to help, they should
enjoy
give them
alone.
something
Yeah,
because
they should.
definitely they would give offering, they will pay tithes, and these are how we are able to build entrepreneurial.
social life is
skills
not
also.
financed by faith. I mean, you should let them. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's
So
not
yes,
financed by
we
faith.
should partner up, and then when we do things like you said, we should learn
You want to be
also
the only ones in the limelight, so partnership will not.
No,
help
we
you.
should.
I think we should also
Honestly.
have to punish. I don't know. You guys can do game, but it looks as if Christianity doesn't punish. Like, if, for example, if I go and take a loan from a bank, and instead of going to use for I use for a funeral, and the money gets bent, I share. The collateral the bank will take over because of that. Mama fast steady.
Yeah.
But there's something about I gave my friend in church. Yeah, my friend in church 10,000. He's like, smart crowd. Like, because we are in the same church, it's like, what's the worst that could happen?
We are called into a small room.
I
But
even
God
even
is a
know
God of
I even know
order.
of a story where, like, I had a dream and Smart wants to sponsor. Smart said, "Oh, he can give me a loan."
Yeah.
So I went to think about it. And when I came, Smart asked me, "What am I bringing as collateral?" Then I get angry that I know. So the person said he doesn't. He said, "No, me what I want, bring a land document." Then the person has been angry and bitter with the person too. No, the person. In case you find we are Christians, but you can change.
You can,
And if I lose my money,
I've lost it.
Yeah,
So
I've
isn't
lost
that
this
the
thing.
wisdom why the early fathers didn't want to encourage commerce within us because it will spoil the church?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you think?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Project
So maybe we should
business.
just leave the church as it
It's
is
a clear
and
assumption.
let the politicians and our institutions
deal with
do what
one
they're supposed
another,
to do.
but let it be the way you are doing now. sir.
Okay, I have an alternative. We can correct me. So instead of the church doing what we want them to do, let them
Yes,
kill
the
the
church.
devil and do all that. Then Ghana Enterprise Agency,
Some churches
all
have
this
credit
Imani,
unions
Yeah,
and things.
private
Yeah.
enterprises.
they should do the. I think so because from what you are saying, a lot of pastors say, I introduced this susu thing in our church, and now people have stopped coming to me. I've borrowed money to people, and that's the way they stop church. So it's like the more good I do to people, the more they stop. So, Papa and Jeffrey,
But
Well,
also,
that's what
yeah,
it is. Clearly so. We have just a few minutes to wrap up in the studio. We'll be picking our final thoughts on the matter. Christians and their social life. From Pastor Newton's last comment, it looks as if a lot of people are ready to succumb to the worldly system. But when they enter into the Christian space, they want some sort of compromise. They want you to do it lesser. They want you, and sometimes like they want you to do magic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a wedding. I want you to cater for the buffet. My money is 3,000.
Then he's bringing 300 people.
Yes, and you're wondering. and you're
300
wondering.
Spartans.
Why?
who can eat and won't take away.
How do people just begin to see their Christian brothers and Christian sisters like that? Oh, my money is this. This is what. Why don't you have a tailor-made something for what you are looking for? If you are doing 300 people, then maybe a buffet is not something that you should be looking out for. Look out for pie drink. Maybe that one,
okay,
the caterer can.
It's demand and supply. Those also coming. What are you bringing that you are expect to eat fufu and take some home?
Don't ask anybody.
No,
you see.
You cannot project it.
I know, but there's this expectation. I'm going to Pastor Newton's daughter's wedding.
Please, you can't
I'm expecting to see chicken, dessert, then cake.
Oh, no. I think it depends on what you're selling. So, like I've always said, I didn't have a buffet at my wedding. Nobody held brief for that.
Oh, because we gossip and we made sure you didn't hear.
So that is your job. Your job was not for me to hear.
Exactly.
I've
So
done
don't
my
think we
thing.
didn't complain. Don't think we didn't insult you. But you say I've through there.
So you say it later.
Yeah, no, we have gossiped about it. We insulted your wife. We made sure you didn't hear. So take it like that.
Even if he heard, who cares?
Yeah,
You
but at
done what
least,
you
but
want.
know that we insulted you. Just that you didn't hear. We move.
So I think that lastly, what are some of the things I would like to tell the youth? I would go around to pick your thoughts on it. I think it's very, very critical for us to educate the youth. I'm going to begin. First of all, if you're a young person and you find yourself in a church, a local setting, if you find yourself in a local church, a medium church, a mega church, be willing to speak. A lot of people don't talk about what they do, and it is a bad thing. Some people, until you go to speak to them, they never find an opportunity to tell others what they do. And it is something that you must adapt. When you find yourself in a conversation with people, sell yourself. You are the owner of your dream. You are the owner of the value you hold. You are the owner of the skill you have acquired. The only thing someone cannot steal from you is the knowledge you have and the skill you have. Nobody can steal that. They can steal the money, but they cannot steal the skill from you. They cannot steal the knowledge you have acquired. Seize every opportunity to talk about who you are and what you do. Very, very, very critical. Point number 2 that I like the young people to understand is that if you find yourself in the church network, don't go with the previous assumptions, because there are people who are already better from the church and they have already gone ahead to spread rumors about the church. But when you come, have your own mind. It's very, very important for you to have your own mind, because for every human institution, someone will offend someone. Someone will not like someone. Someone doesn't even like the way someone talks. And you shouldn't be part of the bandwagon. You should have your own mind. Go into that church, because that same church that someone is talking about, another person has prospered in that same
even
church.
the person they are spoiling it may be the good person to help
person. So so have it at the back of your mind that I am going to network. I would gather enough contacts that I'm supposed to get. And when you gather, please don't just keep them on your phone. Some of you like having numbers of big people on your phone. To you, it's some sort of flex. Oh, I have Lucy's number. I have KB, the MC's number. I have Pastor Newton's number. I have Smart's number. A lot of people take my number and they ask me to mentor them. The next thing I see them do is to watch my status. And sir, please send. Sir, please send. They are requesting me to send videos I've posted on my status. They're Pastor Newton.
So, and adding to what you said is, let's be, as you said, socialize. And also in the church, even if your church is not offering these opportunities, they said if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. And your earning capacity is determined by your learning capacity. So take every opportunity you get seriously. And I also say, give every opportunity you get the greatest of your strength. Don't just waste your time, and then make the right kind of links.
KB, the MC?
What I can say is, let's add to our faith. There are things that our faith is there for, and there are things that our skills are there for. We shouldn't mix them.
Read, develop yourself.
Lucy?
And prayer doesn't pay bills.
Yeah, but prayer directs your path.
Yeah, it
Does it
equips
pay
you, man.
bills? Don't miscall. You see, then it's like
I
you
said
to say,
yes.
The only people that pay bills
I
is
said
bills.
yes.
The gentleman is not
Lucy should
spiritual.
speak.
I said
Uh-huh.
yes.
My producer is alerting me that our time
Yeah,
is
it's
up.
like me,
So
I'm not spiritual. You are spiritual.
But prayer
Don't
directs
miscall.
your
You
path.
say your
I
own.
said yes.
You to go. Your basic
Right.
capacity.
water is
So-
turning into wine.
Right.
Lucy.
I also like them to use the internet to their advantage. There are so many things you can find. You can find business seminars.
And you can find porn too,
workshops.
so
That's
that
why
one
I
too.
said
Use it
use
to your
the
advantage.
And
Positively.
yes, and it has to be a positive advantage.
Positive. Oh,
The kind of advantage that will project you to the next level, because you find business seminars from now to December. If you want to know which, when you write, it will provide to you where their location and what is going on. So use the internet, but not for the fun and the TikToking and the other things. No.
Whoa.
And then when you go there, connect. Ask questions. It will
Okay.
give you the right answer.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you, KBDMC. Thank you, Pastor Newton. My name remains Smart. Stay tuned next. And this was To Be Frank. Catch you same time next week. Bye-bye.